welcome back. This is your co-host with the most.
Hostess.
Hosts with the most. This is episode 73. We are the Wash Guards. Wash never washed up. I am Draft.
I am Sean-Luc Picard.
Yeah.
Sitting to my left, Draft's right, is the one, the only Sean Ford.
The man, the myth, the legend.
Something like that, I guess.
Yeah, we sit down and talking to him today about where he got his start, what he does, who he is, and overall Atlanta bullshit in general.
You're ready now.
Man. One of the other side goals for this podcast is really just to
shout out War 404 creators. In the building.
Yeah, we putting on everybody from the city, not putting them on, but making sure y'all know. Make sure we align with the right people, just in case this nigga get rich.
There you go. Excuse me, I'm on my yacht now. I can't be bothered.
Remember me? What's one of his paintings go for 40 racks or some shit?
Man, listen,
you saw it here first.
Remember me?
I cannot.
But we are back once again. Shout out to 404 creators. You see us, you see him.
Yep.
Like we usually do though, we're gonna do the soft little intro. How y'all feeling, man? How's your life going? Sean, I'll start with you. Sean. Sean's now.
You gotta be correct. It's a Sean Foy and a Sean Luke. Yeah. But a week's been good. I've been trying to make the most out of my time since I've kind of got a break in between jobs. And I recently got a phone call. Shout out my people at the restaurant. I won't say the name just because I don't know if they want that kind of pub. But they showed love. I got a phone call today seeing if I needed, like, how things have been going with my time off. And she was like, oh, yeah, by the way, this is just paid vacation. Like, you're not officially out of here until you decide.
Oh, that's the love. It's love day.
Oh,
I'm showing niggas mad love.
You thinking 5 months, 5 days.
5 days, baby.
5 days. You know what I'm saying? Matching paychecks.
I mean, you're going to have matching paychecks at the end of the week.
But no, that was kind of like a weight lifted off my shoulders because all I've been thinking about is just floating. I ain't really had no intentions on doing anything extravagant with my time other than like work on this shit or like try to make sure that we stand on the positive side as far as like music and like organizing projects. But to have the opportunity to just be able to kind of like maintain my equilibrium without having to worry about how to hustle up some bread, it was cool. And it also reminded me, like, because until I got this phone call, I was really feeling the pressure. Like, not to an extent where... But it's that...
Under pressure.
Yup. Pressing down on me. Nigga, I'm thinking to myself, like, yo, all it takes is one thing to fuck up, and that's it, bro. I'm back to nothing, nigga.
That's real shit.
But,
yeah.
I feel like I'm Cleveland sitting in the house waiting on that shit to hit my fucking house, and I'm in the bathtub like no.
Yo, so look, the part of my trip this weekend when I took acid that stayed with me was the fact that I was like, yo, if the bomb was in the air and I only had this time to think about what I had to think about, and I'm just kind of mulling around, like, how would I feel about where I was at, and or would I expect some sort of savior? Like if it ain't all over, like, how do I move forward in life after this? And that type of mentality is kind of like reminiscent of what I was thinking until I got that phone call about, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, this is paid vacation. You straight. I'm like, yo, if it's all over, we're going to figure some shit out, nigga. Or that's it, nigga. And we just got to move accordingly.
Yeah. Road, boys in the hood.
Yeah.
Boys to men. One of them
Yeah,
niggas.
One of those groups that sing that song.
One of them boys. One of the team of boys. Yeah. Nah, that's what's up.
But that's pretty much been the week. Dog sitting. I also had a moment. Like, I don't think I talked about it on the pod, but yeah.
This is suburban ass nigga. When a nigga tell me they dog sitting, bro.
I'm different, man. My pinky up now, bro. I can't go back. All this hood shit is aesthetics now. I feel like 50. Fuck the
I'm never going back to the hood, man. Fuck the hood.
Yeah, fuck the hood. And it's like, yo, people give you money to just hang out with your homies. That shit
That's a wave.
Yeah, what? But it was a point in time when I was tripping where the dogs was not fucking with me. Like, and I was thinking to myself, like, man, am I having a heart attack? Do they know something I don't? Are they trying to tell me something? But yeah, aside from that, like, the week has been magnificent. I cannot complain one bit.
I say my week has been like magnificent. If yours been magnificent, mine been magnificent. Yeah, man, you know, sitting on this cliff of fucking creativity, like, oh yeah, I've been busy as far as the creative thing goes, but it's like, as I said in the last podcast, I don't know what's better, getting paid or getting laid. I just know when I'm getting one, the other's getting away, you know what I mean? So, I guess I can't complain, man, you know what I mean? Because I'm doing all right on one side, but then, you know, on the other side, you still gotta try to make that balance work. So, you know, complaining is like, I don't know. I've been doing on this complaining tangent for the longest because I have to hear myself talk. And so it's like, you know, just trying to stay thankful, man. It's been like the big key of the week because a lot of times because I have more time, I watch the news and shit. And I see,
yeah,
you know, I see so many crazy ass tragedies and shit. And I just be like, oh, well, I guess life really ain't that bad. And also, like I talked about on the last podcast, I've been watching Rami and shit. And
finally finished it. It's amazing.
Yeah, I really love that show.
Yeah, I really love that show.
But just seeing, it's a episode where he goes back to Egypt and he's like trying to like bond with his cousins and shit and keep talking about all the like tragedies and shit. And it's like, bro, we're trying to fucking get past that. So like, I kind of look at that shit in my own life. Man, we all got our personal tragedies and shit, but you know what I mean? I'm still goddamn here rocking, doing the thing, doing my 1-2. So I guess resiliency would be the word for the week. Just trying to be resilient. Yeah. You know, this entertainment shit is a blood sport. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Nobody make it out alive, really.
Another Sean Luke.
Definitely get scars. At least. Heavy ones. Yeah. Minor.
Least, yeah. If you're lucky. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, how you feeling, Sean?
Man, I'm good, man. Listen, I feel comfortable in my skin. I still don't feel like an adult, though. But if I'm being 100, I'm on the path that I'm supposed to be on because I work to be on it. So that's where I'm at. It's
round of applause.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm gonna make art, have fun. Sometimes I might be on the streets. Sometimes you might see me as Ninja Vanish if I show up.
How do you feel right now in this moment as far as like everything?
I'm happy to be here. Yo, I'm a fan.
Oh, not even just us. I just meant like your life in general.
Life? Oh, no. Listen, I can't say the OLD word. I guess I'm not wise.
Yeah.
But I will say where I am.
Seasoned, bro.
Yeah, where I am in life right now, you can't fuck with me.
Or vetted. I think
vetted's a good one.
Because you talked about before the pod. Again, the conversations we have before the pod usually end up being all the juiciest shit. But you learn through experience.
Yeah,
shit fucks up, and you have to figure it out in a space where ain't nobody gonna fix it but you.
Living off experience.
No, dead ass. Like that's the space.
We'll talk about that later too.
That's the space, man. Like taking them L's. I took the L's, and now I'm not on the. Let me rephrase that. I will still be taking L's. I just know how to better handle them, and that's where I'm at right now. You know what I mean? That. But I am taking more W's. I'll say that much.
You taking them L's, you better.
If you see me out minding my business, let me mind my business or get bit. I don't know what to tell you.
Hey man, say man.
So let's get into it, man. Let's talk about the beginnings, man. Like, you know, I would like to give like a full scope of who you are. So, where are you from?
Originally St. Croix in the Virgin Islands. I grew up in Augusta, Georgia, and then I lived in Savannah, and I've been in Atlanta maybe 11 years now.
Okay. So, shit. For what I know about you, like I feel like you're like a bit of a Rennissance man.
That's what they keep saying.
Okay.
I just like
the original Rennissance Man.
I just like art and shit.
Yeah. So I feel like every time
I never called myself that, and at this point, I will take it because I got to learn to take compliments better. But I just like art. Anyway.
Okay. Well, okay. So, you know, reason why I came to that like conclusion, just, you know, before the pod, I tried to do my little bit of research as I could, and when I looked at you, you had many titles. You know what I mean? It wasn't just artist, writer, all this other shit. So let's talk about that. Like, what do you think what your first love was?
Always art. Definitely always art.
Like, as far as like visual art?
Yeah, excuse me. When I was in St. Croix as a kid, my cousin, another artist, great artist, he used to make his own comics. I used to harass him about inking them and shit. He was like, okay, I'll draw something, you can ink that. And then from there, it was just a continuation of making art. And so I always used to say, like, art's my first love and everything else, like, writing's my mistress. I love them both, but, one is I'm always going to come home. I fucked up, my bad, but I'm coming home.
So, like, with the beginnings of art, so, like, you say your cousin kind of got you into the shit. So, like, what's the maturation of that? Like, how do you get from here to there? So, like, what's the process of that? So, like, from your cousin drawing shit, where do you go next?
Okay, medium story. Hurricane Hugo hit St. Croix. I was living with my aunt, my uncle, my cousin. They were like, we're done with hurricanes. Moved to Augusta because we had family up there. In Augusta, we were up there, I can't remember how, 89.
Augusta, Georgia?
Yeah. And then from there, skipping all that part, went to a arts high school. You had to like do the tests and all those things.
Excuse me, but
yeah.
So you're in high school. What were you doing art wise?
Okay, so it was a really dope school. It was Davis of Fine Arts, and it was like Augusta.
Okay,
so it was like a magnet school. They had all the programs.
To nurture.
Yeah, exactly. And from there, I originally got into SCAD and Savannah for photography. I wanted to go for photography because that's what I was doing. But as life will lead you.
So you had like a camera in high school? Like,
yeah. Well,
so what type of like things were you doing? Were you just taking like stills, or do you have like video camera?
Still. Okay. Yeah. No. Like nothing.
This is like Polaroid type shit, or
And then I had a little Nikon, and that was it was
all film, like
all film. Yeah. That was the original, but I was always drawing. It was always a thing that I was like, it just gave me peace of mind.
So what were like, other than like your cousin, did you have like influences art wise early on? Or?
Oh yeah. Let's see. Before that high school, no, because I'm in Augusta, Georgia.
You don't have anything to pull from.
Yeah. Like, fortunately, my cousin in St. Croix like put me on an anime mad young. So, and I was a comic book reader since I was a kid. So it was just like, okay, bet I have these people that I remember telling my aunt one time when I moved up to the States. I was like, I want to be an artist, and she was like, well, you don't want to be a broke artist. I was like, but everyone I'm reading is alive and making money. Right. I'll never forget that.
That's a good one, because everybody that I think maybe has parents and don't necessarily know about the art world has probably had that conversation in some way, shape, or form.
100%.
If you dive into it early.
So can I let me ask an auxiliary question, just because we're kind of here and it's on my mind. Like, at that point in time, had you had a moment where you realized, oh, like I'm supposed to do art? Or was that one of those moments where you was like, I have a different viewpoint of this. This is what I'm supposed to do?
Damn, that's a good question. Okay, so if I'm gonna be 100, I thought I was gonna be a marine biologist.
Okay. So you fucked with friends a lot. No. All right, it's inside baseball.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
But I really because from the islands and shit, I was always in the ocean. I was like, oh, fishes and shit. I was like, word, okay, cool.
I didn't even know what the fucking marine biologist was until I saw Friends. But anyway,
no. So if I'm being 100, I was like. When I was a kid, I was like, I'm going to either be an artist, a marine biologist, or a ninja. Because anime, I'm keeping it 100.
Yeah. I grew up around a lot of ninjas too, bro. And they all making money.
I don't know no broke ninjas.
I don't know one broke ninja, bro.
Them stars cost money. Yeah.
All of them got gold chains.
Yeah, smoke makes them vanish every once in a while, if you know what I mean.
All my ninjas got chains.
Ferraris, nigga.
Ninja don't even need smoke no more. She ain't got a Land Rover.
Oh, shit. Oh,
they got a matte black Lambo.
That is funny.
If you want to, but yeah.
All he do is run from the police.
Yeah. He sound like Batman, actually. Shit.
That's a hell of 3 choices to have. But, okay, so
but no, art was always just it was just something like I'm one of those knucklehead stubborn kids. It was like I'm just gonna do this. Well, then it was fun. It was just, all right, cool. I'm drawing, but I was like, did I think it could be a career? Part of me only because I was reading comics, watching anime. And I was like, my cousin was older. I was like, oh, I guess it can because someone has to make this.
Like, yo, they doing it.
Yeah. But was it something I was like?
So was your cousin like at a point where he was like selling his art, or
at the time, no, man, he was making comics. I honestly, I couldn't say that when we were in St. Croix, we were mad. He was in high school. He was just drawing comics because he likes drawing. Yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah. So now he is though. Now currently, yeah. But
that's dope.
Yeah, but I was just like, yeah, no, this would be a fun career choice. And I think it changed when I did go to high school, and I was like, oh, cool. And the high school teachers, when we had to do art classes one night, it was like, yeah, people do this for a living. I was like, wait, for real? Yeah. You mean like they're alive?
Another auxiliary question: were these people white?
Yeah. Come on. It's Augusta, Georgia in the 90s.
I'm just like, it's not like
I was looking for black graphic designers and black creative directors in 2011. And guess what I found? Nothing. Complex, top 50 best designers, illustrators. Yeah. You know how many black people are on there?
Yeah, what's crazy is like Christ, this makes your three choices that more interesting because all of them are very, very rare for the black demographic. Like you had a good shot at anyone,
especially Ninja.
Yeah, it's top 2. Like it was a close second.
This episode is gonna be Sean the Ninja, bro.
I did no work for Ninja work. I did no stretching. I did no running.
Like, yo, I was just about to go to ninja college, and then I found alcohol. That was it.
Yeah. I'm not climbing a goddamn wall.
I'm drunk.
Yeah. I'm busy, motherfucker.
Ninja college or SCAD. But yeah, man. Speaking of SCAD, so you get into SCAD.
SCAD was a good time. I learned a lot, but more than even learning, because that's when I started smoking weed. I don't smoke anymore, but
very important.
Started smoking.
Very important, especially if we talking art.
Yeah. That was fun.
So let's get into that. Like with weed shit, it's like I think there's maybe there's not a huge misconception. Even do you feel there's a huge misconception amongst artists? Do you feel like weed makes you more creative?
I think. This is for me. I think in the same way alcohol does, it lowers your ability. Inhibitions. Your ability to be like, this isn't good. I never thought this isn't good.
It makes you change your perspective.
Yeah. It just
you do the puppy shit.
For me, weed makes me more. It makes me diagnose things more. So if I'm super high, I probably won't like anything. Like I'm the opposite, which is I feel like a good thing because I think things need to be vetted.
It gives you a critical eye.
Yeah. It do make you paranoid to the sense where
it gives you, the paranoia makes me more critical of like my own art. Yeah.
Which is good because you wake up the next day and you're like, whoa, I'm glad I told myself no or yes. See, like the way I drink now, I'll get drunk and I just need to loosen my brain up.
Same.
And so I'll now start making stuff. But there's a part of me, I'm not making this up, there's a part of me where just being a broke artist for so long, and not anymore, and I'm not even claiming that word anymore, but at the time though, but now I'll wake up, and I guess my blackouts now is I'll wake up and there's drawings on the floor. I have tabs open for filling out grants and shit, and whatever part of me was like, you're never going back.
The impulse.
Yeah. It's no longer like
that automatic muscle reflex.
Yeah, it's like
what's funny is I remember you tweeting that, and I was like, it's like how I get drunk, pass out, and wake up and got 3 projects and 4 grants open.
Yeah. There's a part of me that's like, oh, yo, we did that part already. That part of life has happened, and if you don't want that to happen, do the work so you don't
know how
to
balance the both. I think that's the biggest fear. So at what point did you realize, like after college, or like were you working a job at that time?
So in college, I had a couple of jobs. I've had several jobs, even in Atlanta.
How long has it been since you've just been completely freelance?
Oh man, it's been a minute. Well, no, it's
Flex
three,
over.
no, maybe 3 years. No, maybe 3.
It's been a minute. It's been a minute.
Listen. You know what I'm saying?
No job niggas. I don't even know niggas with jobs.
What's a job?
No. I mean, but the job is my life. But no, my last job was Straight to Tell. Shout out to the homie Trevor, man. Like, he is a good friend, and he started a business, his animation house, design house. And when he started, he was like, "Hey, you want a job?" And at first, I was like, "Nah, fool, I'm still out here." I was at home. But yeah, after some time, I was like, "Yeah, bet." And I worked there for a minute, and I still work with them every once in a while. But yeah, that was the last job. It's probably 3 years ago, and I just fucking went in.
So at what point did you decide, like, all right, I can do this on my own?
I can tell you exactly that point. When I first moved to Atlanta, I was working at it's like a sorority in Greek house. They sew all the jackets and stuff.
Okay.
Right? And it was a good job. I met a lot of dope people there, actually, who also do stuff in the creative scene in Atlanta right now. But I ended up getting my first big freelance job. And I was like, oh shit, I can quit my job. But it was like 2 months ago. But in my mind, I was mad younger.
But also, like, before, I don't want to skip past that because that's a good story. So, like, describe that feeling where you're like, you get that first little moment of like, oh shit, nigga, fuck this job.
It was like.
Did you like call people? Like, what was the process?
Well, when I got the job, I was like, oh shit! It solidified in my mind. It's like, oh, maybe I can do this. And
how did that validation feel?
Good, man. Good. How could it not? You know what I mean? You're like, oh man, like I've been working for this. So finally, someone answered my email. I wasn't joking. I really do want to do fucking work. And I remember I put in my 2 weeks notice. I was an idiot back then. I tell people this all the time. Do not take the route I took to get to your art career. I was so goddamn dumb. But I enjoyed that youthful, like, I'm gonna do this and nothing's gonna stop me. But also, if I knew what I knew now, I'd like, kept the job, had that money stacked up, made some more money, put it aside, and then I'd have been like 2 weeks notice. Then I got my first job, 2 weeks notice, done. It's like, fuck, I'm about to do this. It's never gonna stop.
Right.
Fam, I did that first job. I didn't see another piece of work for like 4 months. Like, I was like,
I was scared you were gonna say 4 years.
No. 4 or 5 months, easy. But what I thought was a lot of money, I didn't know how to budget money back then. That's another thing I had to learn, freelance and everything. So it was like, I didn't take into account food, bills. I was like, my rent's covered.
I'm just gonna survive. Eat sunlight.
It's definitely a young man's brain.
It was a very, and by the way, back then too, I was like, listen, man, my shit was crazy, dude. Like, so my gas was off at the house I was at, right? But I had everything else. I learned how to cook. I can cook pretty decent. I don't like telling people because I can't. I'm decent. But I used to
once you say that, you gotta wear it.
Yeah. But I used to make pasta. I had this shit down to like a T.
Nice.
Like, dead ass. Like, it was weird. I was like, how are women talking to me at this point in my life? Now that I look back. But when you're a chill dude and you're not, fucking up too much. I still had a roof over my head.
I think you got a roof over your head, you know who you are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I think that's the biggest thing. But
to answer the question, that was the first moment where I was like, I remember I was like, I'm going in. And from there, network.
I was gonna talk about that. You saw me on my phone.
But in the best way possible, just going to things I enjoy and meeting people who enjoy the same things or have the same ideas for their life. And that kind of community is different.
Do you feel like the first time you had that type of community was when you got to Atlanta?
100%. 100% in the way of me being an adult. No college shit, because I was.
You don't have nothing else to base the relationship off of other than like-minded.
Yeah, exactly. And there's friends. I have a lot of friends from SCAD that are in Atlanta right now that I've known them since we were all at SCAD. But and those that are here, percentage of them are fucking rocking right now. But we all, even back then, had a very, as young-minded as it was a seed to an idea that we watered and turned into trees.
But like building off that, so how do you feel about the scene from when you first showed up to where it is now?
Fuck. All right, so I was here 11 years. Atlanta back then was lawless. It was fun. It was fucking fun, dude. And lawless in the best way possible. Yeah. Best way possible. It was like. So when I came out here, I was rapping, I was skating, like I was doing a multitude of things, right? So I was and I had a car at the time. So I was able
first out in the episode. I'm just joking.
But
the highlights gonna be crazy.
But I will say though, I was because I was doing all those things, especially back then. It was like I'd be at a music show, then I'll be at the skate park, then I'll be at the art show.
Activities
100%. Where I know a lot of people don't do a lot of those things, especially at the time. I was like, I don't give a fuck who thinks I'm weird or whatever. I'm showing up. I'm at a punk show as well as a rap show.
Did it help because you were the only person? Because I had a moment like that when I was in the sneakers. Like I had no peer group. The only people I linked up with were the people who were on sneaker lines, and even then I wasn't talking to you unless we was on the same shit. And that grew into so much more. So like, without cutting you off, if I can build on the question,
please.
Like I think about like the classes that Atlanta had, like and how like you'll come out of a certain creative class. Like who do you think is in your creative class, and what time period built the type of creatives that are around you now? Because I know we know the same people.
I have to big up Bosco because when I first got here, she used to
shout out Bosco.
She used to throw a house party. Yo, it was it was. She did a lot. Vec is OG homie. Like came out here. My homie Adam, who's in South Korea right now. Who else was out here? Ryan Brown. I gotta give him props. Who else was out here? Alex is a little after this, but he started Soul Food Cypher. That started in my bedroom and shit. That started in my bedroom because we used to freestyle. Then we went to Wonder Room. It was a whole. Man. But
I remember I did Soul Food Cypher.
Please,
I did my community service at Wonder Room. It's no longer there.
We
used to record there back in the day.
But
they had a really decent studio. And if I'm forgetting anybody from back then, listen, I drink a lot, and that's 8 years ago, 10 years ago, kind of. So
no, that's a good assessment because I know a few of those people on that list, especially Bosco. Bosco is one of the few people I remember. Like I forget who I was around. It might have been my homegirl Izzy, but she was like trying to manage her at the time. And I remember I put up on one of the jazz shows she did at Space 2, RIP Space 2, and it was like a fundraiser for South by, and I was thinking to myself like, damn, bro, like she going to South by. This shit is big. Like
I got, as you say, Space 2, not Space 2, I'm sorry, for the cab. I got to shout out, because Bosco put me in touch with Fahie. Fahie helped me out. And I got to say one more person, Jamal, thanks, homie. That was a mentor to me and a good friend, so yeah.
Nah, man, I always like wonder what type of people certain like motherfuckers come up around because like the circles in Atlanta are so spread out. You may know somebody just by like doing one thing like skating, and then all of a sudden they have ties to somebody you know from the art world. And it's like, damn, y'all know each other? It's like, yeah, that makes sense. And it builds your network without having to do a lot of the networking, so to speak.
100%.
Yeah.
And if you're doing work, you know, you're not being a dick. People be like, oh, yeah, all right. I fucks with you.
It becomes more than just work.
Yeah.
All right, so
okay, you got one? Go ahead.
All right, so unless yours is art related, if it's still art,
it is.
okay, keep going because I was gonna change directions.
Okay, I think I wanted to change directions after the break because I got some on the other side of Sean because he is a Rennissance man, as I said. The title.
I'm just a pirate. I'm just a pirate who cruises the streets, baby.
I hear you, man. But you know, the work speaks for itself.
I'm looking for the booty. You know what I'm saying? Where you at? Where's the gold? If you know what I mean.
But
my homegirl's gonna be like, "What the hell?"
I guess it's
I'm with it. Sorry. What's the question? What's the question? My bad.
Man, welcome to the future. But this is my last art question. So I feel like you're a person that I've seen like have a few corporate sponsorships. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Done a thing or two.
But my question is, how do you feel like you balance like your personal art against like being in the corporate world and trying to make art money?
Okay, yeah. Honest answer, I try to take in the jobs that that I best work for. So in that way, right? So like corporate work where a large project. I work with Crown Royal, right? And they hit me up. I don't even know how they found me. This is one of those things.
I remember seeing that shit like, shit, nigga.
Had no idea how they found me, and I'm thankful. That was a dope project. That's one of those projects where it made sense for me. And then I could utilize that to do personal work.
Because they were highlighting black artists, right?
100%. I just did some work with PBR. Shout out Louise. That's coming soon. But I've known him. He's a cool dude. I already like. Oh yeah, say less. Like there's certain people I rock with because I rock with them. Like, oh, I know you're not about no bullshit. If
so
I work with you,
set me up for a play, it wouldn't make sense.
100%. And but don't get me wrong. It took me a long time to get to that even kind of thinking.
Okay, so at the beginnings, let's dive into that. So at the beginnings, like I know you said you talked about like the first check where you felt like, oh shit, we onto something, right?
Yeah.
So like
everything after that, I just had to take.
Yeah, okay.
They were a lot more. Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah.
$50. I need that. Out there. I'll show
airbrush some t-shirts outside.
Yeah. Let's keep it G. Like, no, I had to work up to what I'm thinking present tense, but all the work that got there was I had to do that. I remember. Oh damn, I can't remember the person's name, but they were at my old spot, and they were like, you can say no, dog. Like, do you eat? That's. Yo, that price point.
It took me a really long time to get that to there with like normal work. But yeah, it's
in life.
Yeah.
Like I was like, you could just
boundaries.
Yeah. Let's keep it 100 in life. I was like, whoa, what? You could just not.
Yeah.
Especially being freelance, because I'm sure you have to design your own. Like what you
was that empowering?
Design your own price point.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and that's a whole nother thing. Because price points vary from city to city, but I will say I make a lot more money outside the city than I do in the city. But things have been changing because the work I'm doing and the way I'm manifesting, I gotta keep it 100.
So
I'm not looking for them.
Before you leave that, I just gotta address that.
Yeah, talk to me. So
like the old word and manifest is the two words that.
Oh yeah. Well, I have to say this about manifesting.
I don't agree with that.
I have to say this about manifesting. Because people are like,
talk to this nigga.
Yo, universe, I want $1 million, and then they look around at the universe. You know how you get $1 million? You work. Manifesting. Faith without works is dead.
Okay.
This nigga, run back.
I manifest because
I said that shit. Like this nigga.
No,
fuck that nigga, man.
No,
this nigga use crystal deodorant. This nigga burn smudge sticks.
Like all that
smell like patchouli.
Yo, listen, all that energy shit is real too. On a scientific level, is real. You know what I mean? So like, if you are putting out what you're trying to get, mind you, you're not gonna get exactly what it is, but you'll be in the ballpark. Fam, listen, if I ask for 90,000, but if I ask for 90 grand a year, right? If I ask for 90 grand a year, I get 85, I'm gonna be mad. No. If I get 75, I'm gonna be mad.
Get 60, I ain't gonna be mad.
Now we talking, right? Yeah. So 60 is that first year. Guess what? If you can do that, what else can you do? You was making 30,
it's a
40
game,
before.
Bro. It's a game.
And it's all patience. Another thing people don't understand, it's all fucking patience, dog. Yeah. Like work takes time. So do you have the time for the work you want?
Man, I always said that shit back to another topic we was going to talk about, like one of the ways we met. But when I was in the shoe game and shit, I always used to tell niggas like, everybody out here got one or two things or a little bit of both, time or money. And whichever one you got more of determines how well you do in this game. And it got to a point now I look at that shit with my life, like, yo, the richest man on his time. Like, and I'm never trying to be in a situation where I don't have the ability to say what I can do with my time. So, like,
but I want to go back to you turning down projects because I think that's important. So, so I'm sure, like, when you first maybe got into that mindset of like, all right, man, maybe I'm gonna say no to some shit. Were there like times where you like second guessed that decision?
Hell yeah, I had to say no to money I needed, but it was like, oh, you being disrespectful. At least to me, it was like, yo, there's no way you can expect me to put in X amount of hours. It was
For
like
this amount of
hours
money.
for this
Yeah.
amount of money, and it was like when after the homie was like, yo, you got to think about it like this. Mind you, there's currently, even then, there are certain things that, fam, what are we talking about? Money? Like, get out of here. I got you. Like, I'll see you later. Like, don't worry. But if we're talking like corporate shit or anything, that's like, yo, come on, what?
Because y'all have the money. Why not give it to me?
Don't play me while my counterpart.
I know what you gave. I know what you gave to so and so. Like, don't disrespect me. 'Cause that's my people's. Why wouldn't he tell me? Yeah, I hate that shit, bro. I hate it.
As we're watching society changing and getting a little better understanding that, and to what I was saying earlier, looking at Complex Top 50 back then, it's like, and knowing better now, like, and I'm blessed. I got homies who are black art directors right now, who creative directors. It's empowering to see that, right? But I'm like, yo. Even back then, I was like, because I am a overthinker at times, and I'm an analytical individual. Like, I love laughing, cracking jokes, and what people don't know, I'll be at home like, oh yeah, and I'll just be reading, because knowledge is power. But for that kind of shit, it's just like, I know my counterparts. Like, we could talk about street art in Atlanta. It's like, I know they're getting more money than this person, but this person is really dope, or as dope as them.
Sound like rap.
Yeah, a lot like rap. Yeah.
And that's part of the game. And the other day I was looking at my ceiling fan being like, all right, listen, I am a business, and I want to conduct business in a way where everyone, yo, you comfortable coming through, we talk, boom, boom, it doesn't matter. But I am now at the point where it's like, yeah, you gotta fuck with me, I'm not fucking with you, like. Or at least I'm building it in a way where it's like, no, I did work, and I want to work with people who do work. I'm not even drunk yet. I'm not even tipsy yet, man. But this shit's real, man. Because I've watched a lot of creatives, talented motherfuckers, like,
I mean, like he said, like,
Anyway,
I want to get in my own shit. But we can talk about rapping, all the similarities. But I guess it's all art at the end of the day. You know what I mean? I think that's just the art world in general. Man, we just gonna keep going, man. Fuck the break. So I want to talk about. Let's get into like the writer.
Oh yeah, let's go.
The writer. So let's talk about like the process of writing your first book. How was that?
Oh, that's okay. This is gonna sound. Listen, I write. Bukowski is my neighbor put me on a Bukowski once. I read Diary of a Dirty Old Man. I went, you can live like this and still live, like survive. And then I kind of journeyed up. If the timeline had a break, that was the timeline.
Can't do that.
Shout out to Loki.
Yeah.
That was your Nexus event.
So the first book, I had a good friend, Matt Moses. You may know Matt. I don't know. He used to be out here. He's in LA now. Long story short, I used to rock with him in Atlanta. And he moved to LA. He was like, yo, Sean, if I ever get an opportunity for you, man, I'm going to hit you up. I'm like, all right, bet.
That's a dope-ass opportunity.
Based
on the way the story is arcing.
Well, yeah.
Well, shit.
He was rocking with me on my art stuff for a minute, right? And so he moved to LA. He called me. It was summertime. I'll never forget. He called me. He goes... And I was transitioning out of rapping because I love writing, I love rapping, but I was like, there's got to be an easier way to tell your ideas. Like Twitter's, there wasn't even 150 characters, or maybe it was, but
right. Yeah, it was 150 characters. It's 300 now.
Yeah.
Or 280 now.
I was like, this doesn't have to be easy.
140, 280. Yeah.
But I wasn't thinking about it. But he called me. He's like, "You got this opportunity. You ever thought about writing a book?" I went.
Bukowski
Yo, I went, no, but I can. He was like, well, if you ever want to, I got an opportunity. I said, say less. I'm not, this is literally how it happened. Hung up, and I went, book idea. And the next 3 days, all I did was obsess over, oh, if I had a book, what would it be like? And Twitter was heavy then, 150 characters. That's why my books are the way they are. It's like one-liners, short stories. Because I was like, what's the best way to distill an idea but still have it make sense and people want to read it, right? And so first book, I'll never forget, 3 days ago, and then I had the title, and it just hit me. I was laying in bed, I was like, things about women. I was going through whatever I was going through. And then I was like, things about women and other short stories I seem to forget. And I just started laughing. I was like, boom, that's what it is.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And then I went to a party, a close friend, Vec. I was telling Vec, I was like, Vec, I think I have a book deal opportunity. And he was like, what? And I was like, yeah, and here's the title. He goes, okay. And he's like, I gotta go. And he leaves. 2 days later, he designed my book cover just on the strip. Just on the strip.
That's crazy.
No, that's the second one.
Okay.
He actually did all three of those. He did all three of those. But
so was it? I don't want to get too much in, but it was a 3-book deal, or?
Yeah. So this is
all I say. I know.
Yeah. So here it goes. So he designed that, and also in those 3 days, I just started writing random. I was like, well, fuck. Next time he talks to me, at least I have something, right? So I laid it all out.
This nigga's a magician. This dude pulled a rabbit out, motherfucker.
Yeah. No. So I'm no bullshit. So boom, the homie gave me the first. So at this point, I was like, I have not even stories, ideas of stories, but it's all laid out because I do graphic design. So I just made it look good. Sent that with the book cover. I was like, oh, Matt, I have this first book idea, and this is where the 3-book thing came. I was like, and if they're down, I have a 3-book idea because I think in series, like I've been thinking in series since back then, in art shit. So I'm like 5 things for one series. So I was like, I have a series, so it'll be this book and 2 other books. And if they're down for it.
That's crazy that you had the vision to think about a 3-book deal. As somebody who wasn't even writing at the time.
I wasn't writing books either. I was like, fuck it. But if I'm going to do it, let's do it.
Sometimes having no idea what you can do gives you the opportunity to think, like, why can't I do this?
Why can't I? That's literally, and so...
And cognitive dissonance.
Yeah, I guess, but I emailed him. He hit me back and was like, yeah, they're down. And so that's what happened. And now I don't have a book deal. Now the next book coming out is a plug. I have a book coming out very soon.
Did you hear it first?
What you will hear here first is the title, because I've been holding the title. The title of the book is called Last Year's Most Interesting Negro. And it's a 3-part reason for that. One, from the Basquiat documentary, there's a scene where Basquiat was down and out, and there was a writer.
Boom for Real? The Boom for Real documentary?
Yeah. No, not that one. It's the one that came out in theaters a couple years ago. But there was a art writer who saw Basquiat in the bar, and he was like, "This is one of the world's most famous artists," and he's sitting there like he's last year's most interesting Negro. And I remember seeing that. Then secondly, it was everything that happened last summer, and I was like, "Yo, the media cycle is gonna media cycle." We had a whole goddamn civil rights pun. Also, listen to their music. We had a whole. Hey, I'm pretty good with marketing every once in a while. But when people
Don Juan DeMarco.
But when
oh my god again. All right, that's the last one.
But when we see how news cycles go, it is what it is until it's not.
Until it's something else.
And then it was like, all right, that's last year's most interesting Negro. Boom. Third reason, I'm always someone's last year's most interesting Negro in this art creative world. Or dating too.
Talk about it.
Talk
about it, King. Talk your shit.
But it's life. So that's the title. Pretty much all we're doing is working on the marketing. It's supposed to come out in August.
Last year's most interesting Negro.
Yeah.
That's a good title, man.
Yeah,
that's a hell of a title.
Thank you, man.
Yeah. Well, shit. You actually answered my next question. I was gonna say, like, what are you working on currently?
That's just one.
What else you got? Like, let's talk about it.
Myself and a good friend Artemis Jenkins are working on a.
Shout out Artemis.
Yeah, shout out Artemis. He has an idea for a series. And I'm in a writing room with him, is to say the least. So that is coming. What else? Do I have anything else?
Any extras? Holla at me.
We working things out. You know what I'm saying? Listen. Hey, when the voice gets high, you know?
Hey, okay, all right.
No. Like, no, it should be. It's a series about the Atlanta creative scene.
That's dope.
It's a very
last documentary, man. They had us in it. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
we didn't even ask.
By accident,
we be out here.
yeah, we just really did.
Are you manifest? Are you manifest?
We working, bro.
Okay.
I don't manifest shit, bro.
You don't manifest?
I do the work, bro. I do the work.
I ain't mad at it.
I'm getting drunk on Edgewood. I'm putting in the motherfucking
Every
work.
night, nigga. Passing out, nigga, falling asleep in your favorite club.
I'm destroying my personal life for this shit.
My liver is dead.
Oh shit!
It's hard to breathe.
I'm losing my family. It could be great. But nah, man.
But yeah,
That's really dope.
And that's another thing, man. This city has been amazing in the way where the people I've been able to meet, creatives, it's been a lot of love. That's one thing, even when I travel, it was like, yo, Atlanta's different, blah, blah, blah. I was like, yeah, it will keep your toxic shit. We already got enough toxic here. Mm-hmm. Keep your toxic shit over there. Yeah. Come with the love or don't come at all.
I do feel like Atlanta is a tale of two cities sometimes, so it's a lot of love, but it's a lot of, funny business.
Yeah. But, you got to navigate that anywhere you go, so whatever. This is real G shit over here.
So how many evolutions has your creativity taken over the years, like from artist to musician to writer, like, and how do you see that as like the opportunity to do more? Like at one point you were like, well, I'm doing this now. Like your title is who you are, and then
that leads exactly into the question.
You had to figure out what your perspective on your course of life was after that.
It's actually something Draft said earlier, if I'm not mistaken. It's like based on is it fun for me to do? Time. I just posted this the other day. It's fun, time, money. I know I may not always make money on a project, but it was fun. Yeah. It was worth my time. And the way I look at money now is like sometimes I'm like, yo, if this works, it's on the back end. Yeah. But if I get that back end money, I don't mind putting the time in for that. Yeah. To answer your question, though, sorry. Give me a second.
That's important.
Yeah. To answer your question, best way I could answer is I've always been writing. I've always been making art, illustrative art, digital art. So I don't look at it too much as a separation. Mm-hmm. But I will say, right now where I am in life, I'm not writing any more books. I'm manifesting.
Talk to this nigga.
I'm manifesting a writing deal, Netflix, movies, whatever. I don't know. I know that I've put in the work. I own the properties to something that can be different. And I was like, well, if I've done this and I wasn't even looking for a book deal, what can I do that I am looking for?
Now the name of the episode is Manifesting, but Manifesting with Sean Foy.
Yeah. Listen, I don't get it. I don't get all the things I want, but you know what? I don't look at life as taking a fail. I don't fail. I only fail if I didn't learn from it. If I did learn from it, there's no L's.
Like when I remember having a moment with a 5%er one day where he was like, yo, like I'm God. He was telling us like I'm God, and he was like, "Yo, you didn't make these trees. Like, yo, I made these trees. Like I made that Land Rover outside. I made the concrete. Like I made all that." And I was thinking to myself, like, to a certain extent, as an artist, if you think about it in here and then put it on paper, you made that. Like you created. That's God-like. That's how like God's
energy. But I ain't God. I ain't going all the way there. But the energy of creativity.
Yeah, like I was saying, like God is made in man's image. If there's anything that we do, it's create. Like even just by design, whether it's make children or make art.
What's crazy is this might be my last question, but it's also the first question I wrote. So like, I'm gonna go ahead and keep like naming you this title. I know you don't.
I mean, listen. You know what? Yeah. I am at a what's the word? The age where I gotta learn to take compliments. So I appreciate it because I do a lot. Fuck it. I do a lot. That's not for you. That was for everybody. That's how I was coming at you. I wasn't coming at you. Fuck it. Yeah. Fuck this whole thing. I'm done.
But now, so do you think like okay, you went from what rapper to like painter to author? So do you think there's like another iteration of like of your art, or your creativity? Like, do you think there's more?
Yeah.
More you're gonna do and get into, like, or
I think I will always be painting. Always just it that's always gonna be it. But I'm trying to put executive producer on my name. I want to be in the background. I want to be well respected and well paid, but left alone. That's it. You know what I mean? Like the people who need to know, and I move into places I need to move, and then everyone else is like, "What's this? Why are you dressed like that?" And I'm like, laugh at them, and then go home and look at my ceiling fan, but the floor to ceiling window and the wooden floors is heated. And I'm laughing because I'm like, you're right. I don't know what I'm doing dressed like this. But I do know what I'm doing dressed like this. Not fucking with a fucking shit like you. I couldn't even curse right. But you understand what I'm saying.
No.
Yeah. Like, I just, man.
And that's, I remember one of the quotes that I've always lived by just by somebody I've been around, like, was the fact that somebody told me, like, Vic Lloyd from Leaders was like, yo, like, I just wanted to have a business meeting in, like, a T-shirt and sweatshorts. Like, I want to be able to wear what I want.
Sean always talk about that. Yeah.
I want to be able to wear what I want every day, regardless of what I'm doing or who I got to talk with. Because
Shout out to Warren, bro. We just had a conversation about that. Yeah.
And I think there's a certain, like, I one of the moments I had tripping was like, yo, there's a certain sense of freedom that you get by doing your own thing and creating your own brand. Like, you create your own price point, because everything else do kind of feel like slavery. You got to answer to somebody. You kind of on a leash as far as your time is concerned. So even if I do have to work hard, if it's in the vein of doing for self, I feel so much more satisfied than doing for somebody else and just bringing home a check. This money is tangible. Like, you create what you want to see.
I will say though, utilize their goddamn money.
I mean, it's a balance. It's a balance. I like we've pushed projects based on like our last checks from jobs. Like a lot of this shit is just based on the fact that we do have a 9-to-5 in the back pocket. But it is something to be said. Like, I always salute people who like make that leap and go at it on their own, because I do know how rare it is to see money back from projects like in a creative space, because it's intangible for most people. Somebody who gets it and is willing to pay money for it is like really, really into your shit.
I mean, people like you, I always looked at like magicians. Like, man, somehow they like you
pull that rabbit out there.
Like Spider-Man and Tarzan, the way they like leap to like either you run out of web or like you grabbing that next vine. I feel like that's what like the creativity thing is. Like, you're always reaching for that next vine. Like,
and anybody who's able to do that,
you
like,
get that one check and you swinging, but you also need that next one to pop up.
Where is it coming?
You're falling on your motherfucking face. You know what I mean?
Humbly speaking, like, I am very, very understanding of that blessing. 100%. I know what I draw fucking pictures for a living, and people give me money.
Amazing.
Like, if I'm breaking it down, but it's also deep.
It's like some kid shit.
Yeah, no, dead ass. Like, I equate art. Three things that really fucking changed my mind about life. It was art, music, skateboarding. Skateboarding especially fucking changed my whole, like, just demeanor about how I work. Because you fail a lot in skateboarding. Like, when you see a video and it's back-to-back lands, no, it was like they had to go there 2 weeks, every couple days, 2 weeks, fall, to eventually get it. Like, the learning to fall changes you don't care if someone laughs at you. You falling so much already that, you know, you see people skating and shit.
Those who know.
That's good. That's a hell of a lesson.
Yeah.
Bro. Learning to fall, because damn, you said some shit, man.
Fam, there's many times, the analogy, like, you skate, you hit a pebble, you fall, and you're like...
You have to do that in public, and that's what doing art is.
Anytime you put anything out to you guys, when you put your music out, once you put it out, it's no longer yours. You know what you intended it to be. And then the world goes,
you gotta live with the people.
And it's so wild. What's wild is because we're like, I don't know if you're this type of artist, but you end up being so critical that your expectations are like right here because you know all the flaws in it, but you know you put out a solid piece of work. But everybody else just looks at it like it's so, you know what I mean? And you're like, damn, bro, this is what y'all if this is the type of shit y'all want, like nigga, we can do so. You know what I mean?
But never do that though, because you are and the idea of critical. You are your litmus test. Don't get me wrong. You have your audience. You know, you have the people who support. But at the end of the day, they should not navigate how you create. Because you're losing a piece of why they fuck with you to begin with.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's hard to do as you're getting old. You're like, I'm going to dial it in. You know what I mean? And it happens. Don't get me wrong. I've definitely done it. Sorry. I mean, I always make at the highest level of creativity.
Yeah. On that note, we're going to cut this shit.
We'll be right back.
Yeah, we'll take a break. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned.
Yeah.
Keep it locked. What's worse when a nigga announces the wrap up before he does it? But yeah, we are back once again. Wash guys, wash never washed up. I am Drafts.
I am Sean Luke Picard.
And we are still here with Sean Foy, man. I said I'm gonna keep it linear, but obviously I'm not. But we talked about we talked about your current projects earlier. And this is kind of like the same question, but I did want to talk about, like, what do you feel about the art scene in Atlanta, like, just in general?
Oh, currently?
Yeah.
It is a you make it what you make it scene. Make sense? You know what I mean?
I know you kind of said this earlier, too.
Yeah.
And I always want to highlight this, especially with people that, like, spend a lot of time in Atlanta, because, so, like, you know, that whole let's not call it a misconception before you answer, but the whole idea of Atlanta is like the place where you kind of alluded to that earlier about how you felt like the most open and you're most free, like in the artistic phase in Atlanta. But how do you feel about the openness of Atlanta? Do you feel like that's a real thing, like compared to other cities?
I feel like, specific to my era, Jesus Christ, but
Wash never washed up.
You still got an error.
So error ass nigga.
Hey, it wasn't even so sound like that, but fair enough. But no, like to that lawlessness I was talking about, where I came up where everybody gets to figure out who they are as an adult, and you're doing whatever you're doing. So in that moment, I don't know how to compare it to other cities. I know we were just fucking having fun. But if I was going to compare, it was like how New York probably was just having fun.
You've been to a lot of cities.
Been a couple cities. Yeah,
okay.
A couple cities.
Okay.
Yeah, a couple. Yeah. You gotta travel. You gotta see some shit.
No,
yeah.
Especially in the art field. But I'd say like versus Atlanta, like, I guess my best question would be, in the vibe, do you feel like you're vying for corporate things when you do that? Do you feel like that's like a competition thing amongst artists in a particular place? Like when people maybe are looking for like black artists from Atlanta, do you feel like you're vying for a spot, or do you feel like you're free in your art at this point in your life?
A little both. And I'm being honest. Yes, to answer your question, but no. I think people who are looking for what I do, they find me, and if they're not looking for what I'm doing, I at least worked very hard to be in the conversation. You know what I mean? Like I know a lot. Yeah, 100. I know a lot of way better artists than me, but I know I'm me. So
that's a good lead into the next question. Shit. So when you first started, I'm sure you compared your art to a lot of people.
Oh,
correct?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So at this point in your life, like, where do you rank yourself among artists?
If I'm keeping it 100, I don't. I don't. Younger me would have the artists that I know that are people that I rock with. I've been able to in Atlanta. From the W's to the Sailors to the people. Like I remember going to Sneaker Pimps, and W took me.
That's Atlanta shit.
Yeah.
What year?
I had a Sneaker Pimps hat. I used to love my Sneaker Pimps hat. I wish I still had that.
It was at MJQ. And I was living in Savannah.
It might have been later Sneaker Pimps.
Yeah, it wasn't early. It wasn't early. Yeah, it wasn't early. It wasn't early. It was later. I was living in Savannah. And my homie Darian put that drive. It was 2011. It was early, like 2010, 2011. But put on Doom, going to Sneaker Pimps. I had my portfolio with me. And I was like, fuck it, we're just coming out here. And then I randomly ran into W at a Sneaker Pimps joint. I don't even know he remembers.
He said he had his portfolio and held it like a paper.
That's crazy. My wash moment was when the recent episode was like, how I don't have a portfolio. So shout out to you.
Again, these are years ago. But yeah, fuck, I had a portfolio. But I came out here with a box of shirts I just printed. It was I did a lot of shit. Yeah. But it was like, I remember, because I used to have this skate company. So a long story short, came out here, and I remember seeing W was one of the few artists on the Complex lists. Goldie Gold was one of the few artists.
Shout out to Goldie.
Yeah.
That's the homie, man.
This is like, I'm living in Savannah, and I'm like, oh. And then
shout out to Goldie. He did artwork for my brother's projects. Shout out to Jay Hayes. So
shout out to all the family working class music group.
But anyway, I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, not at all. But I actually finally won a contest on some Complex shit. This all full circle shit every time. But I long story short, I sat on the curb in front of MJQ before I even knew what MJQ was. I remember seeing him. We were Sneaker Pimps. Like, yo, W, I'm a fan. Blah blah blah. Yo, I got my portfolio, like my homie's car, not even my car. I had a car, but my homie drove us out there. W was just very like,
you was really out here on some artist shit.
Yeah, no, that ass. Like I went
back
through
when the game was different.
Yeah, no, I went through the different part of it. Like I'm trying to do this, but I'm gonna show up, and hopefully I'm not being weird about it. But I know, and
cards on the table,
and I'm looking for black artists,
like-minded people,
trying to find your tribe.
Yeah.
That's like one of our key phrases in this podcast and in life. Shout out to Sean, but he always talks about finding your tribe, and I think that's very important, especially if you're an artist. Because a lot of times, your family might not agree with what you're doing, and everybody around might not understand what you're doing, but you find those like-minded people
who's telling you you're not tripping.
Yeah, it's like, nah, this shit is dope, bro.
That's real.
You finally feel at home. That's a very special place to be.
And to see people,
it's the reason why I'm still in art to this day. I wouldn't do creative
to see people who go through things and don't have that type of reassurance, because it's a different type of reassurance than you get from doing a good job at your job. It's not something you did.
I took a chance on this art, and you actually appreciate it for what it is. So it's very important. So,
I'm about to say this. The universe listens. God listens. Universe listens. It listens. Your ability to ask, but I'm always gonna bring it back to what are you doing? Because it's like, oh, I hear you. Now I'm about to give you trials and tribulations. Have fun with that. You're like, what the fuck? Oh, Jesus Christ! But if you come out of the other end of that, trial by fire. It's definitely, the sword is fucking, let's go. Gladiator shit.
When you look at life and death, the idea of moving from different veins of creativity is like the same story. You have to break it down the same way you would if you were starting over. So every revelation is an evolution. You go through shit in order to figure out how to do the next phase of it. And I think that's dope about artists, because when you become a Rennissance man, so to speak, you figure out how to work the angles on shit, regardless of the vein. The same way you realize, I negotiate my art shit. I'm going to do a 3-book deal because now I'm a writer. And if I was a writer, this is how I would approach it, because I'm an artist. And that's how I approach all my projects in this vein.
And as a rapper, I was always a writer. these motherfuckers gonna have to respect rappers. Anyway, side note.
That's always been my case. But yeah, we're not gonna delve into that.
Yeah. But here's another thing. As I'm getting washed in a very comfortable way, one day I'm gonna be 60. Will I drink a lot? I smoke cigarettes. Will my fingers do the things? I do push-ups in the morning. I go on bike rides still. And I actually need to switch out from fixed because, my knees are good. But I did a lot of basketball, tennis, fixed gear, skateboarding. Hey, man. Everything here. I'm like, oh, shit. I did a lot of those.
Preaching to the choir. I ain't picked up my bike in months.
Oh, shit. And you was right. But
basically, you don't plan on living long. Go on.
Oh, no. Sorry.
I'm just fucking with you.
No. Respect.
Universe list is draft. Shut the fuck
up. Respect. But no. But it's one of those things where it's like, okay, well, shit. I do plan on living long. That's another thing I had to work out. But long story short, I do plan on living long. But shit, I might be 60, and it's like, these are my gifts. This is what I got. This is all I got. All right, what am I gonna do with it though? I'm going to utilize time in the best way. Is In Due Time. Have you ever seen that movie?
No.
The Justin Bieber movie. It's Justin Timberlake. Thank you. In Due Time, right? Yo, that shit fucked me up because in that movie, time is a commodity. It is the actual commodity of your life. Anytime
I have seen that movie.
Anytime you.
I thought you were talking about a documentary. Like
no. It was a sci-fi movie.
Yeah, I remember.
Justin Timberlake. I
you
like
were
that
broke
movie.
you were broke based on how much time you had. Like I said, the richest man owns his time. Like that analogy works in so many different avenues. Because if you look at yourself, it's like, yeah, I can spend my life doing this and be completely unhappy, or I could do this and make this much and be sustainable and have my sanity. And that's just what it is. Like you're a better person because you take the value of time more seriously than the value you do of money.
Yeah, but you can do both, right?
Yeah, if you focus.
I do think it takes like a laser focus, like a very intentional way where you're gonna approach life, because it's not easy to I think step outside the natural norms of what people preach to you as you're growing up. Get your 9 to 5, get you a good job, do this, do that. To just living on a prayer, as I said in another podcast. But you know what I mean? It's kind of what it is. You know what I mean?
Fam, if I'm
the same way you say manifesting, I say living on a prayer.
If I'm being honest, I'm currently just reaching the idea that I wasn't insane. I'm gonna be 100.
Because if you really look at it compared to everybody else's life,
I thought I was fucking up all the way until I said earlier 2 years ago, where I went, wait a minute, holy shit, I'm still paying my rent.
Yeah,
I'm doing everything I said I would.
made it this far. I
just had that moment recently. I was like, damn, man, I've done everything I said I would, and that's a surreal moment to have, because when you get to a point where you have so many titles, and it's like, yo, your overall persona is attached to what you're doing at that time. To know, regardless of what people say you are, or you aren't, niggas may say you fell off, you know what you can do. Mm-hmm. In a crunch, you're gonna be able to sustain yourself, credibility intact, and that's a real value to have, especially when niggas do any and everything in order to get attention. You know what I mean? But yeah,
that's another hour.
Anyway, man. Got any plugs you want to do? We got to wash cars. Never washed up. We can get out of here before we start getting too messy and shit.
Can we cheers though? Can we cheers? Gentlemen, yo, thank you guys. Bong bong. For real. Thank you guys, man.
The other Sean outside the podcast has been my favorite guest. No salt to anybody else. They're
gonna have to argue. They're gonna have to argue.
No. Shout out Ricky Blue though.
Talking shit.
Been here multiple times.
Talking shit.
He'll be back.
Yeah, top 5. Top 5. We only had 3 guests. Sean's top 5.
That was the same. You should be a politician.
I got to say thank you guys as well. This is I appreciate it, man. A real conversation.
I definitely enjoyed this, man, more than I usually enjoy podcasts. So,
as you're making a podcast. Oh wait, can I shout out? Hold on, I got to shout out.
Definitely.
Cool. Yo, Leroy, I got to the
all
influencer.
Social media, all that.
To to Leroy, man, another wild one, smart dude from the influencers to Two Good Mics. I'm not plugging because we haven't recorded in fucking 2 years, but I gotta get a homie. Leroy is a smart dude.
I'm a mic club.
I forgot the name of your pod.
Yeah, man. Like
doing the Two Good Mic joints.
All the homegirls I was talking about, fucking Kiana, Nakia, Ash, like all the homies. Long story short, if you know that I fuck with you and you fuck with me, and even if I don't fuck with you anymore, but at some point we did, and it was love and not some hate shit, love, all right?
Bam, 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 bam.
There we go,
Nigga, like, subscribe, share.
Come on.
Sean Foy in the building.
Oh, you want to drop your socials?
Oh yeah,
we'll put them in the write up.
At Sean Foy, SeanFahie. You can find me. I'm on the internet somewhere.
Yeah.
In the darkest
We're gonna put
recesses.
We're gonna put all this info, links to his books,
Thanks,
links to all this shit that he's got going on currently in the write up. So we are the Wash Guys. We are Washed, Never Washed Up.
Thank you guys, motherfuckers.
No, man, we appreciate you, man. This shit was
it's just been
fire. Hey, buy their music. Buy their merch. Don't fuck around. These motherfuckers dope. We didn't even get to talk about that.
Nah.
These motherfuckers dope. Stop fucking around. Realize what it is.
Hey,
all right?
Hey,
come on. Say less, man.
Yeah, man. Wash Guys, we are Washed, Never Washed Up. Shout out to 404 Creators. You see us, you see him.
Man. Shout out to No Limit Exposure.
Mm-hmm. Just stepped in the house. He in the house.
Yeah, we gonna get out of here for draft. Start coming up with more songs.
I hear the police sirens. I gotta go.
All right, man. We out, man.